Hey guys, what's up? Hope everybody had a good Christmas and is ready for New Year. We're back today discussing the guitar tone I made. Let's see, the metal tone for standard E and drop D tuning. So we're going to go over that today. I've had a lot of requests to go over that, so let's just dive right into it. All right, so let's give it a little listen first. All right, so let's go over what's going on in Helix first. So I did a little experimenting in this one. Now, typically you can put two impulse responses on the same effects path, but what I did here is I used pretty much the same settings on both effects paths, but I used the higher res impulse responses. Not sure if that makes a difference, but I just wanted to give it a shot, and then I blended it with the output levels. So let's just go over this. We have the input gain on. The first block is the Scream 808. The gain is at 3, the tone is at 8, and the level is at 10. I think the same for both. No. All right, so we'll go individually just to get this right. Okay, so gain 3, tone 8, level 10. The next block is another noise gate. Threshold is at -60, and the decay is at -10, really clamping down. We have our amp block, PV Panama. That is a 5150. We have the drive at 2, the bass at 8. The mid is gone, it's at 0. The treble is at 7. The presence is at 2.2. The, channel volume is at 9. The master is at 4. Sag is at 4. Hum is at 5. Ripple is at 5. Bias is at 6.2. Bias X is at 5. And the resonance is up to 5.5. I believe I raised that up. For this first path, I have, like I said, the high-res impulse. It is the OH412 Angle V30 421 Fred. F-R-E-D. So what that is, that's a 412 angle with vintage 30s with a Royer 421 in the Friedman kind of configuration. And basically what that is it's two microphones, one on the cone, one off axis, blended together. Look it up, Friedman technique. It's typically done on 57s, but Ownhammer throws it in with I think just about all of their mic options in their impulse response folders. Then we have an EQ going on, and I tried to do the bulk of the EQ in the Helix on this one. We'll see how that turns out in the end, because I did do some processing in the mix, of course. So we have the low frequency at 120, the low Q at 2.5, and then -2.5 dB. The mid frequency is at 395, the mid Q is at 5, and I'm taking out 1.5 dB, so -1.5 dB. The high frequency is at 8K. The Q is at 0.7, and I'm adding a dB, so plus 1 dB. Looks like I have the low cut set up to 80, and I have the high cut just turned on. 20 kilohertz. Can't go any higher. And then I have the room reverb on here. It's a pretty typical setting, so I don't know that I changed much, except for maybe the pre-delay. So that is in the legacy. We got reverb, legacy, room reverb, decay 4.5, pre-delay 11 milliseconds, low cut 300 hertz, high cut 950 hertz. I do mess with that quite a bit. I kind of try to make the reverb a little more dull sounding than the tone itself. The mix is 17%. And that is that one. And then for the other FX path, we have a Scream 808. Gain is at 0, tone is at 5, levels at 10. Noise gate, -50, 10 milliseconds is the decay. Then I have a EQ on this one. This one, I believe, let's see here, -2, 0. Oh, okay. So I have, I did fail to mention that on that top effects path, I have the level -2 dB. So that one is a little bit lower than the bottom effects path, which appears to be the one I used as the main one. So we got the Scream 808, the noise gate. Sorry, I'm losing my head here. Then I have the 10-band EQ, and I am cutting 1 dB at 62.5 hertz, cutting 1.5 at 125, cutting 1.9 at 250, basically getting rid of some of that low end. Not that there's a ton when you're tuned to E. What else we have here? Then I have plus 0.5 dB at 1K, plus 1 dB at 2K, and the rest I did not do anything to. We have the PV 5150 again. It looks like I do have some different amp settings here. So it looks like the only thing that's changing is the presence and the resonance. Interesting. It's always nice going back and looking at a patch and to see what I was doing. So we'll go through this one. Drive is at 2, bass is at 8, mid is at 0, treble is at 7, presence is at 5, channel volume is at 9, master 4, sag 4, hum 5, ripple 5, bias 6.2, bias X 5, and the resonance is up to 6.9. Now for this IR, I use the OH212 ZLSF V30OH1-05. That's a mouthful. So what do we got? That is that's a Zilla 2x12 with vintage 30s. OH105. I'm not sure what mic this is. OH1. I believe that's the. You'll have like a folder with OH, and it's like an Ownhammer mix. It's like their own mix, and so and 5 is the distance. 1 being the closest, 10 being the furthest away. So 505, about midway. I don't have anything else going on there. I've another post EQ again. What do we got for differences on this one? So that this EQ is exactly the same except for the high cut. So I have the low frequency at 120 with a Q of 2.5, -2.5 dB. The mid frequency is 395 with a Q of 5, -1.5 dB. And the high frequency is at 8K. The Q is at 0.7, and we are adding 1 dB plus 1 dB. The low cut is at 80 hertz, and the high cut is down to 19 kilohertz. So I'm cutting off a little bit of the top end on that one. And I have that same reverb block, but I had it turned off. I feel like with them mixed together, the top one added enough reverb. I like to have a little bit of room reverb on my patches. I think I've mentioned that before. And like I said, that one is 0 dB out to my interface. So the top path was -2 dB, and this one is at 0 dB. So I blended those. Now let's look what I did for post-processing on this. So on the mix bus, I have some EQing going on. Let's listen to what that's doing. So not a ton, but just taming some of the high-end fizz and that low-end rumble and this boxy part right here. Of the Pro MB in there, clamping down on the palm muty parts. And then I have this mix tool on there, but it's off. I believe that imported from my preset, so disregard that. Now, on each of the individual tracks, let's see here. We'll center this and see what it's doing. And they're both exactly the same, left and right channels, so we can listen to one and understand what's happening. So I'm doing some notching here, and I find you often have to do that with amp sims, as is with the Line 6. Let's see what I got going on here. Cutting out that low. Sounds like hiss and fizz. So that's doing that, and that again is on both the left channel and the right channel. Then I have the Pro MB. We'll listen to what that's doing. You see how it kind of gets rid of the woofiness. I'll solo it. And then I have the L1 on there with a little bit of limiting happening, I believe. It's pretty much just kicking on. You see it just kicking on during the palm mutes. Just taming it, just trying to keep everything from building up. That's what you do. These little individual steps help out in the end. And like I said, I have that on both sides. Nope, that's the wrong one. Pan that one, there we go. Pretty simple. I saw a relative decent amount of notching just to get rid of some of those hissy, harsh sounds. But other than that, if we listen to, here's a chunk of the song without any processing, just straight out of the Helix. It's passable. That's good. It's not bad at all. I just can't help but tweak, trying to get rid of some of those. And these headphones also really I hear those harsh, whistly frequencies very well with these headphones. So I just get rid of them. I don't like how they sound. And that's it. Looks a little more complicated than it really is, but basically somewhat identical effects paths. I'm just blending the cabs in a different way than usual. Whether or not it sounds any better using the 2048 IRs over the 1024, who knows? Probably not. Not a difference that anybody would probably be able to notice over the internet, that's for sure. So, thanks guys for commenting so much. Everyone really liked this one. Seems to be doing pretty well. I've been getting a lot of requests for the patches, and I'm not above sharing the patches on the Line 6, but I kind of use you guys as a bit of motivation to keep my videos going, to push myself to make more videos. And I'm kicking around the idea of doing like a Patreon, just a very light Patreon, like a monthly thing where $5 a month will get you whatever patches I make that month. And I'll be sure to at least do one, maybe two. We'll see what you guys comment down below. If you're paying $5 a month, how many patches would be acceptable for me to make? Is one enough? Would you need two to justify a $5 payment a month? Let me know down below. You know, I'm not trying to be greedy, but you know, as many of you musicians know, when you're doing this DIY and on your own, you're not making a ton of money. So any little bit that I can throw back into this would be cool. But I also do want to help you guys out. So if it just turns out that nobody seems to be interested in that, then maybe I'll just start giving them away. I don't know. I'm just always a little hesitant to give stuff away for free because I do put time into it and I do put effort into it. And, but I do like helping everybody out. So let me know what's up. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Let me know if you think a Patreon thing would be something you guys would be interested in. I know everyone and their brother has one. But I figured I'd leave it up to you, see what you guys think. Once again, I hope everyone had a great Christmas. I hope everyone has a safe New Year. Thanks so much for all the love. A lot of nice comments, a lot of good back and forth. So, I really appreciate it. And, I'll have some cool stuff in the future coming up. So until the next one, guys, we'll see you later.